prepare yourselves for an enlightening journey into the signs of the times. Today, we uncover the pivotal moments that precede the second coming of Christ. From ancient prophecies to modern-day events, we'll explore the 4 unmistakable signs that signal His imminent return. Get ready to be informed, inspired, and empowered as we unravel the mysteries of the future. Let's embark on this captivating exploration together. Do you think you know everything about the end of times? Get ready to question your beliefs. In this video, we will reveal truths that many have preferred to ignore. What we are going to tell you transcends common faith. It's a prospect that will shake even the most skeptical. Discover the 4 unexpected signs of the second advent of Christ that are happening right now. And most surprising, what you will learn could change the way you see the world. In seconds, join us and unravel the mystery. The book I'm talking about is unique, different from any other history book you find in public libraries. The story of the Bible begins with the creation of the earth and culminates with the end of the world, a range of events unprecedented in historical literature. This is, in part, because no one was present at the beginning to witness and document it, making it impossible to write authoritatively about the dawn of our world. However, we are the only ones who know how everything will end. This is exceptional. The Lord did not reveal the future to His followers just to satisfy their curiosity. It was to prepare them for what is to come, so that they are not surprised by its arrival and do not make erroneous interpretations. We should be grateful that Jesus has shared with us what the future holds for us. People ask if we are in the end times. However, the Bible speaks of the last days, and we have been living in these days for 2,000 years. The last day began at Pentecost, where the first prophecy of the last days was fulfilled. Each Christian generation must live prepared for the return of the Lord. The Bible is a book full of predictions, containing 735 of them, distributed in a quarter of its chapters. Of all these prophecies, 596 have already occurred and were literally fulfilled according to the Scriptures. This means that 81% of biblical prophecies have already come true, and some were made centuries before they materialized. It doesn't take much faith to believe that the remaining 19% will also happen. The Bible has already proven to be accurate in every prediction that could have been made thus far. Most of those that remain concern the return of Jesus and subsequent events. How many of these prophecies remain to be fulfilled before Jesus returns? The answer is around 20, and we are watching closely to see them happen before we wait for the Lord's return. Jesus told us to watch and pray. But what should we watch out for? We can't just stand by, watching the clouds, waiting for them to appear. He meant that we must be attentive to what is happening in the world and recognize the signs He gave us to prepare. These signs are prophecies. So let's see. In chapter 24 of Matthew, the disciples asked Jesus what the signs of His return would be. To this question, Jesus offered a direct and clear answer, for which we can thank God for His clarity. In the book of Revelation, He offers a more detailed and comprehensive answer, but here He summarizes the signs that will precede His arrival. The disciples approached Jesus secretly while He was sitting on the Mount of Olives, Matthew March 24, 36. They asked, "Tell us, when will these things happen? And what will be the sign of your coming and the end of times?" Jesus answered, "Don't let anyone deceive you. Many will come in my name claiming to be the Messiah, and they will deceive many. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but do not be alarmed. Yes, these things must happen. But the end is not yet immediate. Nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various parts of the world. But all this will just be the beginning of the birth pangs. Then they will be arrested, persecuted, and killed. They will be hated by everyone for being my followers. Many will turn away from the faith and betray and hate one another. Many false prophets will arise and deceive many people. Sin will be rampant everywhere, and the love of many will grow cold, but he who endures to the end will be saved, and this good news of the kingdom will be preached throughout the world, so that all nations will hear it, and then it will come. The end. The day will come when you will see what the prophet Daniel spoke about: the sacrilegious object that causes desolation, erected in a sacred place. Attention! So, those in Judea must flee to the mountains. A person on the roof should not come down to drink something at home. A person in the field should not return even to look for a coat. How terrible it will be for pregnant and nursing women in those days. Pray that the flight does not happen in winter or on the Sabbath, because there will be great tribulation, such as has never been from the beginning of the world until now, nor ever will be. In fact, if that time of calamity were not shortened, no one would survive. But that time will be shortened by God's elect. So if anyone says to you, "Look, here is the Messiah," or "There he is," do not believe it, because false messiahs and false prophets will arise, performing great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect of God. See, I have warned you in advance. So if someone says, "Look, the Messiah is in the desert," don't bother going there. "Oh look, he is hiding here," don't believe it. For just as lightning shines from the east and is seen to the west, so will the coming of the Son of Man be. Just as the presence of vultures indicates a nearby corpse, these signs indicate that the end is near. Immediately after the anguish of those days, the sun will be darkened. The moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky and the powers in the heavens will be shaken. And then, finally, the sign of the coming of the Son of Man will appear in the heavens. And there will be great mourning among all the people of the earth. They will see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. He will send his angels with a mighty blast of the trumpet, and they will gather his elect from all parts of the world, from the ends, from the earth and from the heavens. Learn now the lesson of the fig tree. When its branches become tender and its leaves begin to sprout, you know that summer is near. In the same way, when you see all these things happening, know that your return is very close, at the doors. I assure you that this generation will certainly not pass away until all these things happen. Heaven and earth will disappear, but my words will never disappear. However, no one knows the day or the hour in which these things will happen, neither the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Now, in this passage, he gave 4 distinct signs of his coming. So what exactly are these 4 signs that he gave us? The first sign is clearly disasters in the world and its various dimensions, such as wars, famines, and earthquakes. These events are certainly happening, but they have been happening for over 2,000 years. They are intensifying, so we are certainly experiencing this first sign. There are already wars, rumors of wars, earthquakes, and famines. Jesus says not to be deceived, and he repeats it constantly. As we approach the end, the danger is deception, both inside and outside the church. In this case, he is referring to false Christs, false messiahs, people who take advantage of the chaos of natural disasters to present themselves as saviors. There are well-known examples of people pretending to be saviors and taking people to desert places, ending in tragedies. However, there are many false Christs, false saviors, who claim to be the promised liberator from all our problems. The more problems there are, the more false liberators will appear. But as Jesus advises us, we should not be alarmed or worried when we learn of a new war, a new tragedy, or a new famine. He said something surprising. These are painful events, but they are not death pangs, they are birth pangs. So when you read about disasters in the media, they are pains that mean something new is about to be born. This should completely change our attitude. We know where the world is going. We should not be alarmed or dismayed, nor be as concerned as the world will be about these things. The disasters in the world are the birth pangs of a new world that is about to be born. Therefore, we are very different. We have sympathy for those who suffer with disasters, and hopefully we express it and help. But in our hearts we are not alarmed. We are hopeful. We are seeking the birth of a new world. And that's why we are not discouraged or depressed by all the problems in the world. In short, Jesus' advice to us would be not to panic, not to be disturbed, but even to rejoice and say that these are all signs of something new happening. The second sign of his coming is not in the world, but in the church. Disasters in the world are the first sign. The church, and not the world, is the second sign of his coming. The first warning is disasters around the world. The second is changes in the church. just as he divided the first sign into 3 parts, wars, earthquakes, and famines, he divides the second sign also into 3 parts, all occurring within the church. The first is persecution. We will be hated in all nations. The second aspect of this sign would be a significant reduction in the size of the church. The love of many people will grow cold when the entire church is under stress. Many nominal Christians, if not all true Christians, will go away under the burdens of universal persecution. His love will grow cold. This is a very depressing sign. The great surprise in the third part of the sign is that the gospel will be preached to all racial groups. The third part of the sign is that the gospel will be proclaimed. A smaller, purified church will have a greater impact on the planet. This is exactly what Jesus is implying. False prophets can be a source of deception in all of this. We are aware of the teachings of false prophets. When there is no peace, they teach peace. Rather than being a source of challenge, its message is one of comfort. They will say, "It's all good, this is not going to happen." Now, Jesus' advice is to move forward, not give in to these false prophets. Whoever perseveres to the end will be saved. When this sign occurs, when all aspects of the church are despised by the world, that is Jesus' advice to all Christians. Why must it be like this? The answer is that wheat and tares grow together, and the closer they get to full maturity, the greater the tension between them. Therefore, it is natural that Christians will be under a lot of pressure in the end. Christians are social misfits. That's why there will be hatred. The world does not belong to us. Our citizenship is in the heavenly realms. We are unique. And it is because of our uniqueness that hatred can arise. Because Jesus was so different from everyone else, he attracted hatred towards himself. John 15 verse 19 says, "If you were of the world would love what is its own. As they are not of the world, but I chose them from the world. That's why the world hates them." It's not nice to be despised. This brings us to the third sign of the end times, which is the distress of Jerusalem. Geographically, it will be very limited. In this passage, Jesus quotes the prophecies of Daniel. And there is a character in Daniel's prophecies that is referred to as the abomination of desolation. Daniel mentions it 3 times. What does this all mean? What is the big problem? This is a human being, a man who settles in God's own city, proclaims himself God, and refuses to accept anyone else's will over his own. A tyrant whose arrival will have global ramifications, but who will be centered on Jerusalem, the city of God, the holy place. So, Jesus says that the 4th sign of his coming will occur immediately after this. And so we will know when he is coming and we will be ready. When this sign appears, there will be no danger of false prophets or false messiahs. There will be no deception. It will be very fast. What will happen is that all natural light will go out, the sun will go dark, the stars will fall. There are many predictions of this throughout the Bible. Isaiah says that the heavens will be rolled up like a tapestry. All the stars of heaven will be dissolved, the heavens will be rolled up like a scroll, and all their stars will fall like dry leaves from the vine, like the foliage from the fig tree. Natural light will disappear, leaving only artificial light to illuminate the land. What is happening? What's going on? People can ask. It is this? Christians will exclaim. The sun, stars and moon will stop shining just before this happens. God extinguishes the lights of heaven to prepare for the flash of lightning that will mark his return. Then he will come in the clouds, back to planet Earth, and we will meet him. We will not be in an earthly stadium, as there is none large enough to accommodate such a large crowd. We will meet him in the air, and that will be enough. It's not a fantastic prospect. When you see all these things, know that he is at the doors, about to enter. He says. Then Jesus makes a very simple statement about a fig tree. And this is where many Christians have gone astray. He says, "Learn this lesson from the fig tree. As soon as its branches become tender and its leaves sprout, they know that summer is near." Jesus is telling us that when you notice all of these events happening, you will know we are there. Now, the fig tree analogy is not an allegory, it is a direct analogy. based on everyday experiences, as Jesus often presented in his teachings. When you see the fig tree doing this, it says that summer is coming, and so it will be when you notice these 4 signs. You will know that summer is near. Unfortunately, many people have interpreted this as an allegory. We have explored surprising signs together, but there is much more to discover. Subscribe and activate notifications so you don't miss the next revelations. Share this knowledge, like and comment to help us expand our community. Join us on this continuing journey of discoveries and mysteries. Until the next video. As we close another chapter together, I know some questions may still resonate in your mind. You may be wondering how to navigate the complexities of spiritual life and unlock a path of abundance and blessings. The journey is challenging, but you don't have to walk alone. In the comments you will find a powerful key to that door that many seek to open. The power to transform your life is just a click away. Review now in the comments and begin your journey towards a life of fulfillment and prosperity. Remember, prosperity with God is not just a distant dream. It is a promise waiting to be fulfilled. With this guide you are one step closer to making it a reality. Your success story begins today.